I'm Sebastian, I'm from Chile, and I'm a gay man.
My name is Curly, I'm Salvadorian American, and I'm a gay man.
My name is Helen, I'm Salvadorian, and I'm a lesbian.
My name is Florencia Garcia, I was born in Buenos Aires, Argentina. I'm queer.
The first time that I came out, I was 18 years old.
I was 11 years old.
I was like 21.
Probably when I was like 12 or 13 years old.
For a long time, I identified as bisexual. I felt like it was easier than saying I was like a lesbian.
So I came out when I was living in Chicago with my dad. We're all from Argentina, and my dad's from a very small town. And me coming out was not, like, it was an accident.
I had no intentions of coming out.
I came out to my sister. I was like, I need to talk to you, I need to tell you something. I was super nervous. I didn't know how to tell her. And then she's like, all right, like, I'm all yours, like, what's going on?
My dad decided to check the history of all the websites that I had been searching. So when he had seen me looking for Brad Pitt's dick, it became a thing. And then they asked me if I was in fact gay.
I went to Pride, I snuck out of my house. We get there and it's like amazing and it's really hot and sunny, so I get a like sunburn or whatever. And I go home. I lived at my parents' house still, and my mom walked to my room and threw my door open and she was like, ¿A dónde estabas?
Back in the day, there was something called the party line, and they had a gay and lesbian area. And I ran up the bill, and my dad found out what the party line was. And at the time, I was talking to some girl. I don't remember her name. I just know it started with a J. And I carved out her initial in my fingers, and he saw the number that I was calling and it had her name. And so like he put two and two together. He was like, does that J stand for Jessica or something? I don't remember her name, but he was like, does it stand for her? And I was like, yeah, it does.
She like gave me a paper and a pen, and she's like, if you can say it, just write it. So I wrote like, I'm gay. I gave it to her. And before she read it, she told me, I know what you're gonna say. And she just gave me a hug, and it was like fully supportive, and it was great.
I came out as bisexual and I was crying, and it was a whole big thing. My mother hugged me, and they have made it very clear to me that they love me for everything that I am, everything that I'm not. They're just here to be my parents.
So she kept asking me, so I snapped. And I turned around from my desk and I was like, I was at Pride. And she got really quiet and she said, why? And that's when I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna do it. And I said, because I'm a lesbian. I was like, Mom, I'm a lesbian. And she looked at me and she was like, no, you're not.
And that's how I came out, and he was not happy about it. At first, my dad was like not cool with it at all. Like, it just wasn't okay. Me and my dad didn't talk about me being, lesbian forever, it felt like.
Years went by, and it wasn't until my mom was diagnosed with end-stage lung cancer that she came anywhere near accepting who I was. So they basically told her, you have like weeks to live. And my dad told her, you're gonna get over this, you're gonna get over it now. Because you don't have time, you don't have any time left. She passed away in January of 2011. And a month later, I'm sitting with my dad in my apartment, and he says, your mom one night toward the end had looked over at me and said, I messed up. And she was like, I lost so much time with her and I can't get it back. There was nothing we could do. Time had effectively run out. Probably like a month after the conversation that she had with my dad, she passed away.
So it wasn't until recently that my dad opened up, or at least acknowledged my sexuality. And it was after what happened in Orlando at Post nightclub, and I was in Canada at the time. And he texted me, he said, hey Flo, are you back from Canada? I came back from Switzerland to the horrible news of the mass shooting in Orlando. I'm appalled by the senseless act of hate of violence towards the LGBT community. This is absolutely crazy. And like him even like acknowledging the LGBT community was like, I had never heard him say that. And I like bust into tears when I read that. I was like, sorry.
Being who you are, regardless of what your mom or your dad or your siblings thinks, is the most liberating feeling. Because at the end of the day, you have to love you. You really have to love who you are and the way that you live your life. And if you don't, if you're living it for somebody else, you're going to end up mad at them, you're gonna end up mad at yourself, and no one's gonna win.
If it feels like it's dangerous for you to come out, I think that definitely be aware of your circumstances. It's understandable that not all of us can come out. Coming out really is a luxury.
I feel like you have to create your safety first, your own bubble.
Do your best in your own bubble. Do your best to be as much of yourself as you can in the world that you're in.
But if you live in a place where you genuinely would be accepted. I say, do it.
And we love you and we're with you and you're not alone.